Hey guys, we're back with Game 2 of Rattlesnake versus Vici Gaming. Game 1 went quite well. Rattlesnake takes a win off of Vici, something that a lot of us weren't expecting, other than Gods. The seer of California knows exactly what's going to happen.
The real seer of California is actually Blitz, but he's maybe watching, he's sleeping, he's not here right now. And let's actually move into Giraffe as it's actually really going rapidly. Vici Gaming, I believe they had the first pick. Yes, they had the first pick and first ban. Nyx Assassin, Bat Rider is going to be banned. Shadow Demon and Kunkka being picked up here, and Lone Druid to round it out. Meanwhile, here for Rattlesnake, it's going to be Darkseer, Clockwork, and Queen of Pain with a Lifestealer and Wisp ban.
So Vici gets the hero that LGD has been most likely hoping to get the whole night, and that's Kunkka actually. The hero has been seen more and more play from the Eastern scene. The hero is pretty good, most likely with level 6. We think Coco's Rum, strong skill, right? It's the boat damage is good, but what the ulti does, it applies a buff to you and your allies that not only makes you run faster, but also offsets the damage. So basically, you only take half the damage from a nuke, and then once the buff goes away, you'll take the other half. It can't kill you, but it basically means that it's really, really hard to burst down single targets. And there's a lot of bursting going down in this tournament.
Yeah, well, in this game right now, I mean, Clockwork's going to basically a semi-burst hero. Even though he doesn't seem like a Queen of Pain, all her nukes are burst, and then Darkseer with the wall and Vacuum on top. And yeah, you're going to be low HP, you're going to be, you know, lumbering away if you even survive, but a lot of these team fights are decided in that first 8 to 10 seconds. So if you get a huge tanking advantage, which you always do with the Coco Rum, I mean, you know, you're in a good advantage to win that team fight. Of course, Kunkka, great laner early on. I'm not sure whether she beats a Queen of Pain.
I would say no. I mean, you can just play really aggressive. If Queen of Pain just positions herself where Kunkka can't even hit the creeps, then she won't even be able to splash, or Kunkka won't be able to splash without a dagger being landed. So I think if Queen of Pain plays fairly aggressive, at least by level 3 or something, then she can dagger as well as trade hits with Kunkka. And the only way he's going to get damage off is if he either gets close to a creep and uses the splash, or if he connects directly with the Queen of Pain. So I would say it's probably Queen of Pain favorite matchup there.
Meanwhile, we see a bunch of mid heroes being banned out here from Rattlesnake, and also a Silencer being banned out from Vici Gaming. I know my Chinese team love to play support Silencer, but when you don't randomly just ban out Silencer. It feels like maybe Vici Gaming going for a little bit of wombo combo themselves here. You have the setup of Shadow Demon, Kunkka, and a Skywrath Mage. They're going really for these. I mean, ST setup with Kunkka and then a Mystic Flare. That's a free kill on just about anybody that doesn't have a BKB.
Yeah, maybe it's not going to be a mid Kunkka. Maybe it's going to be a tri-lane. I mean, the Shadow Demon kind of reveals that, like you said, 2.5 second disruption, and then land a torrent on top of that and throw another disable on top of that. That's probably a dead hero. And Spectre.
Gonna go with the Spectre again. I mean, the Kunkka tri-lane, like on paper, because you're gonna go disrupt into torrent and then you kind of right click on them, but by the end of the day, you're using 2 spells to only actually hit 1 nuke, and the Kunkka torrent isn't exactly your biggest nuke in the game, so you're gonna land those nukes, you're gonna land the harass, but it's actually very hard to get that kill because, again, you're using a bunch of spells to actually hit a nuke. And Skywrath Mage isn't exactly a high damaging support
until you hit 6.
Until 6, and well, who knows when's gonna happen. And we're gonna see Omni Knight coming out from Rattlesnake. I think DK ran Omni Knight in the G1 LAN finals, and it wasn't exactly the most well played. Is this a support Omni Knight or a support Clock coming out from Rattlesnake? Because it's one or the other. There's no in between.
Yeah, I didn't actually catch that game myself, but the main benefits of Omni Knight are Repel, his second skill. It's like a free BKB for your allies. So we talked about this before with Dragon Knight, how he kind of needs 2 items to be effective. Maybe the Repel is going to be going on Dragon Knight. I mean, it's Dragon Knight or maybe Queen of Pain. But there's not even that many nukes on Vici. But like there were counters last game with Skywrath versus Queen of Pain and things like that, they can have one hero just completely skip BKB and go for a damage item instead. So maybe they'll get a slight advantage by having the Omni Knight.
I also want to know, ask a question if maybe Ali or Purge know, is when you're silenced and you drop the repel, does it debuff the silence?
Yeah, it should, I believe.
Like, for example, if Queen of Pain gets silenced and then you repel her. Okay, so maybe that's a very valid reason as well. Like, I don't think the repel cast range is high. In fact, it should be like mediocre. So I'm not sure how often you could get that rescue to your ally, but it's a pretty big deal if you kind of debuff Skywrath Mage's best spell, because not only does the silence also applies a big damage amplification or a magical damage amplification. So if you could debuff that, that's a pretty big deal.
And it's also going to stop a lot of what Spectre is working with as well. Spectral Dagger won't do any damage. Dispersion won't do any damage. I think Desolate still goes through, if I'm not mistaken, as does the physical damage of the right click, but it does stop a lot of the Spectre stuff. So it could actually help Dragonite carry against the Spectre, if that's what he's going for, since he is in the mid lane. But if this does go late, it's going to look a little weird for Rattlesnake.
I mean, let's actually quickly look at and introduce the players here. We're going to have Luo playing Queen of Pain once again. Had a tough start last game, but it was able to catch up. Neo or Sagam, usually their support player, will be handling Omni Knight. You can see that in his inventory, he's definitely playing support. Icy, generally the one row is going to be going mid lane this game while in Dragon Knight. And then we're going to have Kabu on the support Clockwork, going to be supporting Lamb on the bot lane, on the Darkseer. So we're seeing double melee support. I've never actually seen anything like this before.
Well, this is the dual lane that started popping up over this last week to counter the Lone Druid solo. You just put Iron Shell on these guys, you get Battery Assault, and you run after him and he dies. Because usually you're going to be able to kill him before he ends up hitting 6, and that's a great advantage for you if you shut down the Lone Druid a lot. So it's not necessarily going to be like this. Spectre's actually going to be there instead. So, I mean, it kind of works against any melee carry, basically, is what it kind of looks like to me. Because Lone Druid could be anywhere, but likely based on the lanes, they're probably not going to aggressive Spectre tri-lane, which happened to work out last game. So, yeah, if they can even get any kills on the Spectre at all with this dual lane, it's pretty good. Both of these heroes could offlane themselves, so when you have two of them, it doesn't really create a lot of weaknesses, and if anything, just increases your damage output.
Yeah, this is actually a very, very powerful dual lane offlane. A lot of Western teams, for example, Team Dignitas, like to run something like this. It's, again, once you get to level 2, this lane just doesn't die. Even against most aggressive trail lanes, Cogs and Surge just kind of they protect each other, like you said. And more importantly, they're not really that weak to zoning from supports as well. Even though they're melee heroes and can't really harass back, as soon as they turn on you, they have South Shield, they will tank. And it looks like Haitian's getting hit by Kabu. A lucky pickup here. And they could kind of walk in the lane and get themselves some free XP.
Yeah, he hasn't placed his second Observer Ward yet. His first one has gone on the high ground here, so see if he goes in and blocks the pull, or if he just places it in the lane somewhere, like one of these spots to try to stay alive. Swinging in the jungle now. He's got about 10 seconds until the creep camp spawns, and he does not want to place this while the enemy is looking at him, that's for sure. Because if they actually do have a sentry on Scarith Mage, so he does not want to get this counter ordered.
Wait, where's the second ward? Did he pass it off?
It's at by the top Roshan spot.
Oh, okay.
So a little bit of a gank on the mid lane here. Icy takes a ton of damage, but luckily for him, he brought a salve as well as the Tango to lane. So the Disruption as well as the Torrent combo do not kill him, but it was quite close actually. Really nice gank there.
Wait, I'm confused. Where is the second ward on the ground? I want to see one ward
I'm
on
sorry.
the
I don't know if I missaid, but he had one in his inventory. I don't know where it went. No.
Second one just disappeared.
I swear he had one in his inventory.
Yeah, me too. I saw it. Now it's gone.
Did he destroy it? Oh, maybe he's like super meta and like hid it in the trees or something.
Yeah, dude, that's so next level.
I'm
well,
looking
we'll
for
see
it, but I feel like this is not appropriate use of my camera.
Meanwhile, FY as well as Caboose.
Tier 1 bot. Alright, thank
it's
you.
hidden
There
in
it
the
is.
tower. Okay.
Super hidden.
Next level mid. Also, back in the mid lane, it's going to be SD Kunkka dual lane mid against Icy's Dragonite. You just see this Observer on the hill, and it's going to basically scout a little bit towards Icy's cliff. And that just means that sometimes if you're chasing the Dragonite, if he goes over the hill, he's safe because he's fogged, but not against this. They will still find a disrupt on you and set you up. So Icy should be very careful how he plays this lane.
Yeah, they have the easiest ever torrent setup, so they can consistently just nuke him down. And again, magic damage is a nice counter towards anybody that has good armor. He actually doesn't even have any skill points in his stun yet, so if he does get comboed, it's going to be pretty bad for him. And it doesn't cost him that much mana to do it, especially with the bottle pickup on Kunkka now. He's going to be absolutely happy to rinse repeat this combo.
Meanwhile, we do see... Oh, are they trying to dive on the bot? Yes, they are right now. Kambu in big trouble, but actually he's fighting again. The Surge is going to go on FY. Now the Surge is running out, and look, the contested Josh still lasting. ZSMJ looking for the kill. Iron Shadow will be driving him away. Looks like everybody will back off. FY, you got to be very careful when he's taking those man fights, because he's working with 0 armor, which is not a lot to say the least.
Yep, and they backed off just in time. South Shields actually do help a lot, though, blocking a large percentage of hit player or creep-based damage. They do the combo again on the mid lane. It looks really bad for Dragonite. Great blocking, and that's the first blood. They swung around, saw the Shadow Demon coming from this way on the map, and then they must have done a Disruption Torrent on that. And he's actually maxing out Torrent, because this is reliable damage here. And again, the magic damage is fantastic for comboing, so...
Yeah, the big thing about what they did there was they were able to do a ton of physical harass first, because if you just do ST Disrupt into Kunkka Torrent combo, you don't get the kill when he's at full HP. But when you do it when he's moderately low, a couple of right clicks to follow, once you're slow by the Torrent, you know, you just kind of pick up on a free one. First blood. goes in the form of Vici Gaming.
So the Lone Druid is level 1 at the moment. He's still pulling the creeps around a bit, so having a lot of EXP troubles in comparison to the Clockwork Darkseer. We have a disruption, looking for some silence possibly. Silence in a second. Oh man, the Surge at perfect time is going to get him out of there completely. Surge, he's very close to the tower, and yeah, he's going to absolutely make it, so no problem for him. Great Surge from the Darkseer, and just a perfect example. If either of those guys were solo there, they would have died, because there's no way that the Darkseer would have casted Surge on himself fast enough. Clockwork just casting cogs on himself wouldn't have been enough either, so really cool that they can put 2 tanky heroes in an off lane and have really succeed.
Meanwhile, Lone Druid on the top lane, unfortunately, does not have anybody surging him. Will get picked up by a solo kill of Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain didn't even use her ultimate. In fact, that was a level 4 kill, so just evidently that by herself will actually pick up the kill. More importantly, though, when Finra rotated bot to, unfortunately, not really successfully get that gank, Dragonite was able to actually get in the lane and get a ton more CS than he previously had. Still losing the lane pretty much 6-0 to 25-5, but
wow.
I mean, when there's a Tidebringer denying you every 2 seconds, and when there's a Shadow Demon zoning you out, you can't really expect for anything else.
Yeah, it's not very fun to be dual laned on the mid lane. You usually expect it to be 1 versus 1, but if they can just decrease Dragonite's farm, literally the only way he can get CS right now is by using Breathe Fire. It's just not safe for him to come up otherwise, because a Soul Catcher as well as the Disruption are just going to increase the torrent damage by a lot. And when he hits 6, it's just going to get worse. They're going to increase his nuke damage by 300 with a simple extra 150 mana. At such a low cooldown. Ooh, almost Disruption here on Dragonite, but he canceled it. They can't get the kill now, though, because he has a haste rune, so...
Yeah, maybe that's why he's seen the haste rune and go off. And there's really no reason to force any kills that you don't think you get, considering the fact you have absolute free farm, he doesn't. And again, you have much a safer chance to get that kill at level 6. Now, this is a build that we've seen a lot out of Xiao 8 on LGD, which is basically you max Tidebringer by 7, and then you actually go back to X marks the spot. It's a very reliable initiation, especially against heroes that, for example, could displace themselves with Blink or Surge. So... yeah. We'll see if that's the build that he ends up going for. Has the face boot already finished? And if Dragonite shows his face now, he's going to be dead. In fact, he realized it. We'll go back to the jungle, farm some level 1 newts.
Yeah, it's not a bad choice here. And especially with the haste rune, he can try to control the next rune in about 40 seconds with the extra movement speed without chancing too much of his survivability. So the other Omni-Knight, how's Omni-Knight doing? So this is a pulling Omni-Knight, by the way. This is how he's getting EXP in farm, just continuously pulling. And he's only level 4. He has 5 CS, by the way, so not doing the best here, but he's getting
actually
levels.
More than Lone Druid. Like, Lone Druid's at level 3 right now, so I feel like the mid lane is really hard, but that's the only lane that's really hard. I want to say Vici Gaming's losing the bot lane, because the 2 off lanes are doing a ton of level. In fact, there's level 4 on the Darkseer. Clockwork's level 4, I imagine, as well, yeah. And the top lane is getting crushed, so I think Rattlesnake winning 2 out of 3, not too bad.
Silence is again applied to Darkseer, but he surges out just in time. Spider sense tingling or something. Beard sense? Beard sense, definitely.
Bear sense. Or the cone shape head sense.
What is it? Maybe it's a combo. Maybe you have to have a beard and the head. I'm not sure.
Well, Vici Gaming going to be looking for a little bit pull on the bot lane. Again, Vici Gaming's not getting too much. They're still against the Darkseer this game, so ZSMJ can't really go for any brawling brush or anything. So I imagine some sort of a similar build coming out. Something that involves the phase, drums, and maybe early diffusal blade. That's the thing that really questioned me. We haven't really talked about too much, is that generally you don't pick Omni-Knight into a free diffusal blade character, and Spectre is definitely one. So, I mean, how much do you really want that repel for that silence? Again, it's a good debuff, that's important and all, but at the same time, it's a free counter on the other side as well.
Yeah, it really is. And
Disruption on the mid lane?
Yeah, Disruption. Soul Catcher lands on a dead creep, actually, and they're thinking about torrenting, but it doesn't happen. Kunkka's mana is actually not enough to do a full combo. It needs a bit more wand charges. And that actually did force out a TP, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and Queen of Pain TP top, and she's like, well, wrong place, wrong time. They're going to walk all the way back top. I'm going to miss basically a wave of VXP as a result, and a teleport squirrel, so 200 economic damage, worth the disrupt.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the worst feeling ever when you TP to a lane like that, expecting a Spectre's going to ulti. Where are they fighting? It's going on the mid lane. Dragonite, Dagger, boat's going to land on 2. Silence on Omni-Knight, so he won't even be able to repel himself, and he also gets killed. Now, even if, hypothetically, he didn't get Silence there, it's actually a little tricky to cast Repel on your allies when they get disrupted, because there is a chance that you can land the Repel on one of the illusions, and then you do nothing. It's similar to, like, Dazzle and stuff. It's actually difficult to play against a...
Yeah, Repel, one of the rare ability that you could cast on enemy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why you ever want to do that, but Hey?
You can prevent them from casting Purification on themselves when
Damn,
you play
what a play.
5v5 only mid Omninet games.
That's
why.
some 420 Blaze It plays, like.
Exactly. Or you can cast it on Roshan and then.
I guess you prevent buffs from being cast on allies. I guess that's the thing. But well, that's near here. There, ZSMJ still lumbering on the rising on the bot lane. They're gonna see Icy on the mid lane. Are you gonna go Invis Rune on CTY? But Neo's also right there, so I really don't think he can get a kill. Oh, in fact, CTY's gonna fight this. Heal Bomb's gonna come through as well. Repel comes through as well. Luo comes in, and the Coco Run doing some work. The Disruption's gonna go on the. Oh my God, that is the power of Coco Rum. He should have died there any given day.
He actually bottles through most of the rum, but it's still gonna cost him about 150 HP or so. The boat makes you really fast with the phase boots, so
is it 10% or 20% movement increase?
Let's see.
Does it say?
10%.
Okay. So still a good way, especially with phase boot getting himself way out of there.
Yeah, that looked really bad for him. I thought he was actually gonna die. It's always great when you see the Invis heroes under sentry wards and stuff, and just slowly trick them into a double stun and lots of damage. It's great. Queen of Pain gets another solo kill. That's on Lone Druid, burning all of her mana there. Since she did have a level and lane advantage, all he has is boots, which means that he actually can't even get close to her. So if she can actually blink and go aggressive, it's not a good sign.
Yeah, XCD had a much better Lone Druid game last time. Looks like they're going to go on the bot lane FY. I'm not sure whether he was seen or scouted. There is an observe ward in this particular area for the Dire. They will not see across those thicket of trees, though. But yeah, like, Queen of Pain made 2 attempts to gank mid, failed, both of them. I guess they really want to help out the mid, but if Luo just stay up on the top lane, he could be dominating so much harder. Because Lone Druid can't even go into lane whenever Queen of Pain ultimate is up.
He's got 120 seconds. He's going to be just fine. Another, wow, that was a brand new ward. Absolutely getting killed. I'm sorry, 90 seconds left for Queen of Pain, but is he level 6 yet? He's not even level 6 yet, so he actually, his last hitting was 650 HP. That's so scary.
Against a Queen of Pain who's like 3 levels above you. CTY is going to be checking top
tough.
rune. Not going to see it there. And again, these two, Darkster and Clockwork, even though they haven't done too much in terms of shutting down ZSMJ's farm, they've got so much farm themselves. So Arcane Boo's already up on Darkster. Carbu, I think he might have just bought something. Courier check real fast. Maybe that's observation, not too sure. Clockwork Hook's gonna find himself FY, and the Mystic Flare is gonna come through though. And Kabu is gonna survive there. Where's the Haunt? Is there any Haunt? Haunt is gonna come through here. Dagger's gonna get 1 kill. He's gonna look for Lamb. Lamb's gonna surge and get himself hell out of there. But a 1-for-1 trade. ZSMJ getting the kill there. Not exactly the trade you're looking for.
Yeah, you really have to be careful.
Is he gonna die here?
Against that hero. He might actually. His mana, he's gonna have 1 more surge. Yeah, he doesn't have another.
Back in mid lane, Dragon Eye very low himself as well. Will die to CTY. Was repelled, but we probably won't heal you on CTY with the bolt movement speed, with the phase boots. Gonna chase her for a kill.
Looks like quite the dead Shadow Demon. He does have a Tango. No disruption sounds. Actually, they're going in on the Quap. He's trying to torrent. He's figuring out where he wants to. Oh, he does actually X her back, but it doesn't quite work out. And Repel buys him a second. Well, Omninet pay for this. He puts his heal down as well. And he actually does keep them both alive. So nice plays by him.
Yeah, very, very close. Shadow Demon, or excuse me, Kunga, by the way, now will actually go for Shadow Blade. I really love to see more Shadow Blade on Kungas. When you're ahead, especially when you could start taking down tier 1 towers, you could Shadow Blade into the enemy jungle and start looking for solo kills, especially you're going for this X marks the spot build. Kind of mentioned it earlier, but that's exactly what he's going for. Going back to X once he's level 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, you usually need at least 2 levels of the X. That way you can just cast X, immediately torrent, throw the boat, you're going to hit a guy with it. It's a lot more reliable than having to guess. As we saw against the Quap, he just kind of had to do his best to figure out where she was going to stand, and ends up missing, and a lot of wasted time as well for him juking out the animations.
Well, XCT, because his teammates are creating some space, will be rising away, and now that he has level 6, the Queen of Pain in lane should be kind of less intimidating. We're 12 minutes in, the gold charts, about 2,000 gold in favor of the Dire, or Radiant, excuse me. I really don't feel like anybody has a distinct kind of mid to late game advantage, so what do you feel about that, Purge? Like,
kind of looks like a late game advantage for Vici Gaming myself. Spectre is, of course, fantastic at late game scenarios. Lone Druid is having a really tough game, so I think his carry potential is going to be very meager this game, but if it was equal farm on both teams, I would say Vici Gaming's draft looks much better. And they have a Kunkka. Kunkka can semi-carry a bit as well.
Uh-oh. Looks like that illusion on Kunga baited out 3 or 4 spells by itself, and the gang's completely done. Meanwhile, FY though, he's on the bot lane. Looks like they're gonna be surging the Kabu in. Uh-oh, he's gonna, if he gets hooked, he's done. Clockwork, oh, maybe the Hunt was trying to block the hook. Unfortunately, he won't, and FY will probably go down. No, he won't. And here comes the SMJ. The heal bomb comes through, the repel comes through, but none of that really will stop the desolate damage. There's one kill, and it's looking to go for another. The boat comes out. Everybody's low. Lamb's gonna get picked off second, and Kabushi go down to another Torn. The Torn, oh my god, what a hit here. Clockwork was juking, but he juked right into it.
Yeah,
sick place.
I don't know if you guys saw what CTY did there, but as he was chasing the Clockwork, he made a decision to juke into these trees so that Clockwork couldn't see when he actually cast the Torrent. So he didn't want to waste any time canceling his animation. He just juked through the Torrent and just kind of forced him to make a decision. And he walked right into it. So
yeah, and Kabu, you know, probably realized that the Torrent was coming. He made a stutter step or two, but again, juked into it. So very good play. And you gotta keep in mind that doing this 4v5 without XTT, who is playing some catch-up Dota. Now the thing is, XTT won't be really a big factor till much later on. But again, the way that the Chinese plays their Spectre, she's a factor now. That's the third or fourth time that she's Haunt. And look at her scores. ZSMJ not dying a single time so far. 304, a lot more effective right now.
yeah, that's really important to last hits on enemy heroes. That is 3 kills and 4 assists. Really ups his GPM quite a bit. If we take a look at his overall charts, he's only 500 gold behind the Kunkka actually. So despite the graphs not looking the best earlier, it's looking fantastic for Vici right now.
Yep. Tier 1 push up top here. I don't think Dark Green by herself will defend X. Torn all going to be used, and the Mystic Flare. Magic Wand, and is she going to blink out? She does blink.
Oh, man.
And Arcane Boots, Magic Wand up. No, they're not going to get the kill. Everybody, oh no, the other Arcane, that would not destroy it, I don't think. And these Hawks.
Run.
Luo. Luo,
oh man.
Actually might make it back to the base. I think she might. Oh my god.
Alright, she's got
Magic Wand, Magic Wand. She, oh!
Alright, she lives.
What a player.
Not dead. Alright, not dead. Really close though.
High skill
Super close.
blinkage.
I thought she was gonna die for sure. I love that combo. The X into Torrent with Mystic Flare right on top. He didn't hesitate at all.
Meanwhile,
as soon
balling.
as he came back, he just got it.
X Torrent Bolt all gonna get dropped out. CTY's gonna get stunned. Lamb's gonna get healed under the tower. Second TP's gonna come in right now. And ZSMJ, the Han's gonna come through. Is he actually gonna relocate him back to anybody? Nothing just yet. They wanna focus on Kabu. And I think that's the only kill they got. A whole bunch of teleport scroll being used on the balling. ZSMJ, he wants blood. I don't think you make that chase here. Sonic Wave's gonna get used. SG's gonna be dead. Nice pickup here. No X Torrents being used right now.
Man, these fights just like go crazy once they start. All of the heroes are showing up. Queen of Pain blows her ulti, ends up killing the Shadow Demon for not too much there. So all around really well fight.
Yep. Again though, I feel like Vici Gaming, they're just getting better end of each engagement because they have more global with the Haunt. ZSMJ could basically farm the other side map, come back in. CTY, the Bolt, he's basically initiating these team fights, and once the Bolt is dropped, RS just can't fight back because you throw your ultimates during those time, you're doing half the damage basically. So it's just tough for Rattlesnake to take these fights. Glyph's gonna get used on the mid lane, and again CTY just being where the places where he needs to be, and he's gonna get a tower denied as well. Is Queen of Pain gonna make some play, blink down on deny? No, not gonna find it.
Probably thinking about it, but now that it's denied for sure, she's like, okay, I can maybe do some damage to a guy and possibly die to them as well. So that's always a very important skill to scale back and realize when it's too suicidal.
Well, XTT still farming away in the jungle, checking on the gold chart, about 5,000 gold lead now, despite a couple of tower denies and whatnot. In terms of item progressions, Shadow Blaze finished, Drum's been up for a while. I do believe we're going to see a still Diffuser Blade. I personally like Mantis Owl pretty much here. You could pop yourself out of the cogs if you go to the corner. If you're trapped within, you could use it to dodge a couple of Shadow Strikes and whatnot. I feel like maybe Mantis Owl is a better item, but there is a Diffusal, or excuse me, there is an Omni Knight on the map, so rushing the Diffusal Blade is probably what he's going to go for.
Yeah, I would like to see the Diffusal as well. It can remove Repel, it can remove Guardian Angel. He doesn't have Guardian Angel just yet, but he's about to hit 7. And once his heal as well as his Repeller maxed out, or at least close to doing so, he'll probably grab his ulti as well. So you really do need it. It just, like, Omni Knight is probably one of the most annoying pub heroes to play against in my experience. Like, he's not that great at lane. He's an okay solo laner, but in high competitive environments, he's almost never drafted for this reason, because he's still level 7 here. He picks up his ulti, but like, he really needs a decent amount of farm to be useful.
Yeah, I mean, he got himself a quick level 4. It looks like I heard of sec. X on the mid lane is going to be silenced. Lua, no way of making out of that one. Mystic Flare not being used. 3-4 heroes mauling down on her. But yeah, going back to your point about Omni Knight not having the good level, so we do see a big fight breaking out on the bot lane. ZSM just trying to survive, not going to do so. Finra maybe baiting a little bit, but here comes a TP. Oh, the Clockwork Hook, it's going to be a rare miss CTY. Where's the Torrent? He's using his teammates to bait. Torrent is not going to hit here, and I do believe Finra might die as a result. Where's the self-disrupt? No self-disrupt. Anybody going to TP in? CTY is the only person so far. He's surrounded by 3 or 4. They're working on a tier 1 tower. Tier 1's going to go down, so no TP finally. CTY just came in, missed the Torrent, and well, now we'll go back out.
Just, what a great guy. Doing his best to save the tower, but it doesn't happen, so they still lose that little fight. He grabs an illusion rune, so he's going to swing back to the mid lane instead. It's a drum as well as a shadow blade for right now, so great mid game items here. He can initiate with these quite effectively.
Well, because Neo was involved in both those kills, got himself level 8, now we'll have that Guardian Angel. We were just checking on his level, right? It was Bear at level 3.
He picked it up at 7. He grabbed Guardian Angel.
Oh, okay. And then
if that's what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was checking the level differences between him and the Bear earlier on in the game.
Oh, yeah, that's
He was
right.
level 4 and
Yeah.
the Bear was level 3, but you give the Bear a ton of free farm time. Now he's up to level 10, so it just shows you that, it's like you said, it's harder to... What?
It shows you that Armlet's super good.
Well, that too, but it's so hard to actually have an effective Omni Knight because it's hard for him to catch up. I guess you could use, his purification for a little bit of creep kills here and there, but he just really doesn't have the mana to support spamming it. It's hard to actually justify him for giving him a ton of free farm in lane. And yeah, it's once he's down, he's really not gonna catch up.
Yeah, that's definitely true. He doesn't have as many farming abilities as a typical Omni Knight. Or as any typical support hero, for example, like Alina or something. They can clear jungle camps so rapidly. He's basically focused on being able to cast Purification every 10 seconds, and it's just such a big percentage of his mana pool.
Right. Well, Luo on the top lane working to finish that BKB, and looks like we're going to see maybe a 4 or 5 man push on that tier 1 tower. Unfortunately, the Radiant team nowhere near that tier 1, although we'll see TY having that Shadow Blade and cleaving away with his Tidebringer. Might get there eventually. I think if you're Vici Gaming, you look for a trade. You have better late game. You don't really want to use 3-4 teleport scrolls just for a tier 1 tower.
I think that's a pretty safe assumption to see.
Well, we'll see.
Soul Catcher maxed out on Shadow Demons, a slightly different item build than our skill build, than we normally see. Creep Wave is way dead, and the tier 1 tower is going to get traded.
Yep. Again, tower trade favors Vici Gaming since they have better late game, and to be honest, 2 TPs first. I think if Dire goes for a second tier tower, Vici Gaming says, oh yeah, we'll go for second tier as well. We have Lone Druid. We push quicker.
Lone Druid is really good at pushing towers, and they will immediately go on the tier 2. I don't know if they have quite as much AoE ready for this, but yeah, it looks like Rattlesnake is going to be the one that calls the bluff, and they will teleport back.
Yep, and Vici Gaming will back up as a result. It's hard to actually make this chase. Concussive shot's going to be used as long as you... Well, Clockwork Hook is going to hit right now, but Kabu maybe really out of his position because he's going to get Mystic Flare, Torn, and Bolt. Unfortunately, not going to be safe. Kabu still low, is going to get surged back out. No, Guardian Angel a tiny bit too late. Wall vacuum, no vacuum just yet. Queen of Pain, a ton of buffs on him. There's no Diffusal Blade was already used. Diffusal Blade being a big factor in these team fights. X is going to find himself Lamb. Where's the Torn to follow through? No Torn. No, the Torn won't hit. CTY. Just what a player.
Man, those blind torrents able to catch him. There's the Diffusal Blade being used. He needs 2 seconds, but wow, the burst damage is too much. Queen of Pain goes down. 4 dead heroes. Dragon Knight also very, very low. And a really big team fight win for Vici Gaming there. Man, he used that X, and then he did a blind torrent afterwards. Just such sick prediction.
Yeah, really, really well played. And yeah, Vici Gaming wins that fairly handily. Did they lose anybody? They lost a Skywrath Mage in the beginning.
Yeah.
But Clockwork hooking in, a great way to start the team fight. Unfortunately, Mystic Flare and Torrent just means you're going to be dead for sure. He was very close to surviving because of Purification, but he probably needs a hood before he makes that next play, unless he was repelled.
Yeah, repel would help a lot. Just because he's blocked in with the cogs, he doesn't want to let the Skywrath Mage out, so he's going to hit you for 600 nuke damage. Or what about like a Blade Mail or something? You really could, honestly, against maybe not a Spectre.
That's a big one as well, so...
His HP is okay, and he doesn't have mech yet, so he's got to finish that first, but something like a Blade Mail can be pretty fun if you know for sure that the damage will hit you.
Well, Darkseer is going to be going for mech, so if he wants to help out by a pipe, that's not bad. Blade Mail is definitely not bad either. But, I mean, you look at Gold chart, we're close to about 10,000 gold lead. Net worth is completely on the side of the Radiant team. Queen of Pain, sure, she's decently farmed, but she's not a hero that should be a 1 row. Dragon Knight got shut down hard. Remember, it was like 6 CS to like
Oh, wow.
25.
Yeah.
So I just don't see any kind of big comeback unless you hit some massively beautiful cogs after vacuum and your level 16 DK gives you the damage, but it's level 10 right now.
It could happen maybe. You never know. Some items missing from Lone Druid. Am I mistaken? Does he just have Armlet Vlads? Did he have a Maelstrom? Or am I thinking of a different Lone Druid game?
And last game, I think Lone Druid, yeah, played by XDD had a Maelstrom, so
Okay.
it is pretty late. Kevin's like barely awake.
I am so awake right now. It's not even funny.
Well,
Okay. Tier 2 tower taking some damage. 300 HP left over. Omni Knight's ready to defend, but actually they're just not going to bother. They did repel in the clockwork, so better than it was before. I love that. It looks really cool. Iron Shell as well as the repel, but he would love to jump it, I'm sure, but Vici Gaming is way gone here.
I mean, even though if it's repel and he makes that jump, I think ZSMJ could just like, oh, well, free perch, and then everybody else just goes to work. So I'm not even sure whether that's the answer. Maybe you just have to go straight BKB, even though you have Omni Knight, since that is not purgeable. So it's tough here for the Dire team.
Yeah, again, if you do actually, that's another nice thing about Omni. He can give a repel to one of your allies, but then the other one might want to buy BKB, but it's one less BKB that you have to purchase.
Sure,
it's very
definitely.
very nice. He does have Diffusal Blade level 1. I expect he's going to stay on level 1, by the way. Normally, a lot of pro players are going to upgrade Diffusal Blade to level 2 immediately because the extra feedback damage that it does is huge, but you really need the charges against an Omni Knight. You're going to go late game against him, most likely, and there's going to be a lot of team fights where you want to kill a core hero, so keeping it on Diffusal Blade 1 is absolutely necessary to keep the charges up.
Speaking of team fight here, Rattlesnake looking for one. And that's a great point. ZSMJ is the biggest proponent of leveling up Diffusal Blade 2 as soon as possible. Repel comes through. The Haunt maybe looking for a little bit of block. The Clockwork Cook's going to miss. And here comes the return of the team fight. Queen of Pain's just in it by herself. Oh no, that's Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight IC is going to in a Mystic Flare. She's dead, but at the back lines, the bow's going to get dropped. And that's going to allow the Radiant team to survive as long as they can. And it looks like Rattlesnake, oh man, they're on the run. But you don't run from Kunkka, nor the Bear.
That was just a really interesting ulti by the Spectre there. They didn't really know where the enemy team was, and they turned the ulti on, and it was like, oh, they're right in front of us. Okay, let's fight them. And then they silenced the Dragon Knight and jumped on him. Did a ton of damage before he was able to do a whole lot of anything, and then Skywrath Mage ulti picks him off. So they lose 2 support heroes. They kill the Dragon Knight, they kill the Omni Knight, and they killed the Clockwork. So 3 really important heroes on Rattlesnake.
Yeah, Rattlesnake smoked on the mid lane under this, like right under this Sentry Ward, so that is exactly not where you want to have a sneaky smoke. So I think Vici Gaming had a general idea where Rattlesnake came in and the Haunt just came through. Also really didn't think about Haunt as a way to deal with Clockwork. I mean, if you think he's about to hook you, you just Haunt up and there's a thing in the way. And
a lot of things
in the way. And I think that's why actually he missed the hook in the last fight. It didn't get blocked, but he was kind of left and right, juking that Spectre illusion that was on him.
Let's see. Lone Druid actually picking up a mech for his team. What a nice guy. Lone Druid mech, it's always good.
I mean, there's no other really mech holders or person that could afford mech. What about
Skywrath, man? You don't think he's just gonna like farm all these insane expensive items?
He got himself a 4-staff. That's decent against Clock.
That is true. It's very important to have at least one 4-staff versus a hero like Clockwork, but they'll get there.
Now, speaking of 4-staff, Rattlesnake really need one themselves, because if you could force away from that Mystic Flare when somebody's eating it, that's a big deal. That's basically nullifying, his ultimate. In fact, that is just nullifying his ultimate. Well, in any case, Vici Gaming is still rising weight. Again, there's no reason for them to force any fights. The onus is up on Rattlesnake, and unlike last game where they had Quap Storm and all of these mobile heroes, this game they don't have that. Clog is okay. He hook in and he could die very easily. Dragon Knight could initiate, but he's nowhere in a position to really tank up everybody. BKB will be up just in a couple of minutes, but he's hitting level 11 right now. This is...
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so late, too. Oh, the Dragon Knight one is the one you're talking about, right?
Yep.
Man, and he was in that mid-roll, and he had a really rough time. He's so close to it, but 27 minutes in, this is his first major item, just really explains how bad of a spot Rattlesnake is in here. 12,000 gold advantage for Vici, so keep in mind if Vici does take the next win, it'll go to a game 3. Whoever ends up winning the set is going to be guaranteed a spot to go to Seattle. Not necessarily to play, they'll either get the wildcard spot or they'll get the Eastern Qualifier spot. They want to fight for the Eastern qualifier spot. Obviously, a bit more money at stake then.
Well, not winning this set and you get a Seattle. You have to win this set and then the next one. Yeah.
Dang
so
it! I suck.
It's okay. It's late.
It's so late.
I think everybody is rooting for game 3 except Kevin. Kevin is hoping for a miraculous comeback right now, so he can go to bed.
I sided with gods completely. I don't know how they're going to come back from a 12K deficit, but I'm praying.
Hey man,
so
that
hard.
could happen. I'm actually not hoping for a 12K deficit because in my compendium, I did not hope for big comebacks.
No.
And I don't think there will be a big comeback. Here
My
comes
sleep is more important than your compendium.
I
It's
agree.
okay.
For those of you guys that have not supported Valve by purchasing compendium, I really recommend you do so. You could choose the All-Star team, and who does not want to see an AI versus Loda now on the different teams? Because I do. I definitely do. ZSMJ will teleport out the bot lane here and start rising away. He has Hans, so he could join back a team fight anytime he wishes.
Oh, nice. And he has Manta picked up as well. And this is where things get really awesome for Spectre, actually. His attack speed is really good. His movement speed is higher. But most importantly, if he can get right on top of an enemy hero and pop Manta,
oh, they blow up.
He's going to get a triple Desolate, and that's so much pure damage. It really does increase your damage output by a lot.
Yep. And basically the rest of the team on Vici Gaming is going to just start Roshan. They're almost like begging Rising Star to come in, and they have Rattlesnake to come in. They have one of the best kind of Roshan pit fights. They have Vacuum, they have Clockwork Coke, and Quap, but they're just so far ahead right now.
Oh, the hook's going to miss, though, and that was Repellent, Clockwork, and everything. They throw the boat through. It doesn't really get a whole lot. Kind of a weird fight. Oh, and an immediate entangle on Lanham. He's in a lot of trouble. He's getting low. There's the wall, though. It's going to spawn some illusions. Spectre has popped Haunt, and he is in the fight, looking to get some kills. Darkseer running for his life. Quap ulti finally comes through. ZSMJ doing as much as possible. He's going to diffuse away the repel, and still not a whole lot of heroes dying. Quap's going to get slowed. Silence as well. There's the ulti. He is going to get picked off, and the raiding team's going to swing around. 4 dead heroes now in the Dire. Oh, wow, good game is called. They are not even going to wait until they get Rex. This is like one of the earliest GGs I've seen. I mean, almost every other team has been waiting for a Rex, but not in this case. Rattlesnake has been fighting this game as long as possible. And unfortunately for me, it's going to be game 3.
I mean, they knew, right? That the boat completely whiffed. I think it hit a BKB DK, which did nothing.
It flew through the BKB DK.
Right.
It hit nothing other than buffing Conga.
It was a 4-man vacuum wall into a Sonic Wave, and they still lost that team fight handily. Or was it a 3-man vacuum into a Sonic Wave? In either case, the team fight wasn't even close, and they knew that if they could drag it out for maybe 5-10 more minutes, but it's not worth Kevin's time, so they just choose
Exactly. They were just really being great, awesome people and looking out for me. So we're going to move on to Game 3 in just a second, guys. That was Vici Gaming taking Game 2. Looks good. My predictions are back. God's officially wrong. He called the 2-0. That's all I want to talk about for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think for Kevin's sake, let's just send him back to the analyst table. We still got another game, or maybe we're waiting for the throwing screen, but just a quick summary. I felt like the Vici Gaming had very solid lane. Druid had one of the most difficult time on the top, but again, Kunga showing his power here, just shutting down the middle lane through Timebringer and just setting out a bunch of ganks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they never look back.
Torrent is really some great damage. It's 120 damage for a level 1 nuke. This is really high.
Yeah.
So it worked out pretty well for them, and yeah, I think that game was pretty fun.
Yeah, X marks the spot, also really good against Queen of Pain, Surge, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
but
and he CTY, honestly, how many torrents? Great
blind
torrents,
X
blind
torrents,
torrents, prediction torrents.
Sure.
Even if they're running a straight line, there's a lot of juking going on, a lot of animation canceling. So really, he didn't even die. I didn't realize.
You can't die when you have Coco Room.
I guess it's
Just
impossible. You're just invincible. So that's it from us for Game 2. Let's go to the desk.
Well, I guess while you do have a Game 3, Kevin, I guess the good news is it was only a 30-minute game.
Sad.
The time it would have taken Rattlesnake to come back would have been another 30, 40 minutes, I feel, with how far behind they were. So just get to a Game 3. Let's hope for a quick Game 3 for your sake. But what happened that game, AUI? I didn't actually see it. I was editing VODs for the good people in the Dota 2 community. So you've got to fill me in.
At the start of the game, I was thinking that, hey, why isn't Shadow Demon? I thought he was gonna just give the Kunkka lead mid, and then go bottom to help the Spec. But I think VG actually played the bottom lane really well, because somehow Spec had a lot of farm against the Clockwork Darkseer. I didn't watch too much of it because I didn't really expect that to happen, but that was really well done, and that sort of set the tone for the game. I mean, Bear, he didn't do that well top. He actually died right after he resummoned the bear, which is usually like you're screwed for the rest of the game. But I really like the fact that he adapted to that. He got the armlet so that they could push early tower to get that map control. And then he picks up a mech and Lance, which is
support.
awesome. Like, that's actually awesome because
You have a Spectre. You've
Yeah.
got a Kunkka who's got like huge farm. He's
yeah, he identified that he didn't need to be doing damage in fights. The armlet lets him push towers, and the attacks is just nice for getting entangles, right? And he's really tanky, so he just sits in the middle of fights, he beats on people. If you use spells on the lone druid, it actually helps his team in that situation. But entangle is just so annoying. And I want to note that CTY dropped his drums to bottle, so I love him.
nice. Okay.
I that's the first time I see
CTY.
the Chinese player do that actually.
Well,
And well,
any other big things that happened in that
yeah,
match
I
that
felt
caught
like
your eye?
I mean, it's really easy to say stuff like this in hindsight, right? But like, Darkseer picked up an urn before he got mech,
Mhm.
and then Clockwork had money for the urn,
yes.
and Clockwork wasn't building a mech. I feel like if they had a mech, maybe the bottom fight and the top fight would have gone quite a bit better. I mean, the mana regen's really nice because Darkseer has that 2.7 int gain, but they really, really needed that mech. And one more thing is that we talked a bit about the Spectre with Clockwork in the last
Yeah.
game, but Spectre against Clockwork is the same thing. It's just you're killing the Clockwork. It's sort of like he hooks in Cogs on, Scarith out, Spectre out, he's dead.
Okay.
So
Well, easy. Well, as it is, we'll conclude our post-game show here as we'll get ourselves into Game 3, where you'll have Purge and Luminous casting once again. But we'll be taking a quick break now, guys. When we come back, we'll see who's going to be joining LGD in the winner bracket final. That's going to be our final match of today. But for now, we've got a Game 3 between Rattlesnake and Vici Gaming.